come across someone whom you are having a conversation, most probably rotating around family and marriage and everything. If they happen to ask you as to why you are not married, you might be tempted to say that maybe it's because you have money, and many people will tend to disagree with that as a reason of not being yet married. And they will discuss it over and say that there is no day that will make enough for you to get married. But how much do you need to get married? Oh, that is not the main point. Here I have a story from the Saturday Nation dated 24th May 2025. And the title is very interesting, so I thought it is wise I get to share it. So the story goes, the title goes, help, I need help, with exclamation mark. So it is a man who is in dire need of the help that they are asking for. So help. My wife calls me Mr. Ton Pockets since I'm broke and in debt. It is the title. Let's get to read the scenario, and also gets to hear the expert's advice, because it's good to hear other people's points of view in this life, because you might think that you know it all, but the moment maybe you get to hear from an expert, you will get to discover that you know nothing about what you thought you know it all. So let's get to hear the story of this man who is in dire need of help, because his wife is calling him Mr. Ton Pockets. Let's hear whether it is over for him or the expert has some knowledge to rescue him. And the story goes, I'm 48, married with 3 children who are in private schools. I earn 175,000. My wife calls me Mr. Ton Pockets because she doesn't understand where I take my money and even thinks I keep other women. These complaints have become more profound after I suggested that we need to transfer our children to public schools. I don't own a plot or home up country. My expenses are as follows: house rent 30,000, DSTV 11,000, internet and power 6,000, food and groceries 20,000, fuel 15,000, tithe 17,000, wife allowance 10,000, wife parents 5,000, my parents 5,000, house help 12,000, school fees 30,000 monthly, miscellaneous 5,000, and table banking work group 7,000. My wife works as a public health officer, but I don't ask for her money. I believe in providing as the head of the home. I'm planning to complete the final dowry payment stage at a cost of 300,000 in December, as well as upgrade my family car. I drive a 2006 Toyota Fielder, and I'm aiming to get at least a second-hand, well-maintained SUV valued at 2 million. I have savings of 430,000. I'm worried that my best years are running out fast and I'm getting closer to retirement. How do I stabilize and realize my goals? Now, that is the story of the man. The highlight is that he earns 175,000. He has given the breakdown of the expenses, and he has also given some financial goals that he has in mind. One is paying dowry, and the other one is upgrading his vehicle. Now, let's hear the expert's take on this guy's story. Let's hear the kind of advice that he will give. So the expert says, at 48, you should be in assets compounding and cash flow maturity phase. The 20s, the financial ages are as follows. The 20s are for learning and building skills. 30s are for studying income and acquisition of primary assets like land. The 40s are for exponential growth, that is compounding of assets and home ownership plans. At your age, you should be relying on cash flow assets to fund some expenses. So allocate more cash from your salary towards continuous growth of assets. While you have only accumulated 430,000 in savings, you don't have much to your name. You can only be Mr. Full Pockets if you adhere to a strict plan for asset accumulation. Over-reliance on salary income is a ticking time bomb, as you are only 12 years from retirement. To overturn this, you should have a budget geared towards personal growth. Allocate a 20% of net income to investments. In your case, 35,000. 35,000 should be sweating harder every month in cash asset classes like dividend stocks, unit trusts, and treasury bonds every month. It is even fair that you do not have any debt. On the flip side, this could suggest that you are a risk averse, hence fear to take on debt for asset acquisition or delve into moderate risk, moderate return investments. You have mostly saved with a table banking group and have likely not been in it long enough to build impressive savings. At 350,000, that's only 4 years of saving. That's only 4 years of savings at 7,000, or about 3 years if they are compounding interests from group loans. There are a certain huge unnecessary cost in your budget. Your wives hold a government job that's well paying and enjoys pension savings. Since you contribute to all household needs, the 10,000 you give to her monthly is better off channeled to serious investments. You spend 11,000 on DSTV premium, yet you spend 6,000 on the internet. You could switch to a cheaper TV package and save about 9,000 monthly. If you are to break down your budget to your wife and review your expenses together, she would realize you are shouldering all living expenses. Stop the mockery and be kind towards you. She would likely take over the house help expense and relieve you 12,000. These cuts will amount to 31,000 freed from your monthly expenses. Tithing on empty is ill-advised. Could you reduce the amount by half or defer it altogether until your financial cost is clear? This could add up to 48,000 monthly disposable income. You could put 30,000 in a money market fund or bond fund and accumulate over 2 million in 5 years. 18,000 could be put in a circle and accumulate over 1 million in 5 years, which could allow you to access 3 million loan subject to repayment ability. You could finance a building project with a cheap circle loan or create a freedom fund to finance long-term education costs and medical expenses. Your savings could also be seed capital to start a business or invest in lucrative but regulated investment such as special funds that invest in global assets to have net returns of 17% annually. While table banking groups build social cohesion and capital, they may not have a long-term objective that could help you realize your life goals. Again, they could be rocked by member loan defaults or exits. Your plan to upgrade your car are ill-timed. Considering your fragile financial situation, you are better off waiting a few more years. What would happen if you suddenly lost your job? How long would you survive? Probably 2 months if you liquidate your 430,000. You cannot even get a loan now unless you trim your expenses drastically. Selling your Toyota Fielder would fetch 600,000 if you are lucky. You need 150% of this amount to import the cheapest SUV in the market or a low mileage locally used unit. Fake displays of wealth that are enhanced by lifestyle inflation result in extended stay in the rat race. Focus on home ownership in the medium term, as the rent you pay will go higher and stunt your growth. That is the expert's take. So, what do you think about that story? What other thing can be done differently other than what the expert have said to save this man? Share your thoughts.